anger problems, fighting, gang problems, all these things, beating people, attacking people, loads of different things. In court all the time. I've been in prison twice.
Tell me how that happens. How do you go from being the cute little baby to one day ending up in court?
Well, I don't know. It matters really who you hang around with and what you do, how many people there is out really. Beer, that's the main problem, the big factor of it all.
Booze?
Yeah.
How is that possible, though? Because you're only 17 now. You were underage drinking, were you?
Yeah, I was.
Where did you get your booze from?
People going to the shop. That's what it is, really.
Were you hanging around with people much older than yourself?
Kinda, yeah. Most of the time, everyone were older than me. So.
When was the first time you remember going off the rails and doing something that was inappropriate?
I don't know. I tell you the truth, I lost count how many times I've done it, really.
What were your parents like?
Parents I live with my grandma and granddad. They're really strict about it, and they used to get upset when I used to go to court and that. And didn't really used to like it, so...
Can I ask you what happened to your mum and dad?
I don't know my dad, and my mum, she was just 15 when I was born, so I live with my grandma.
Do you think this is where this anger came from as a kid, that you were just frustrated that you didn't have a mum and dad?
Nah, cause I saw her most of the time anyway, my mum. I'm not really bothered about my dad, I don't care. But no, my grandma and granddad, they were supportive with me and stuff, so they helped me out, but I just didn't used to listen to them. I used to just listen to my mates, get in trouble all the time.
Why were you so angry? Where do you think that came from?
School used to didn't have a very good part in my life, because I didn't like the teachers. The teachers used to try to blame everything on me, so that used to get me angry. And it meant, I don't know, I all just built inside, and I just used to let it out on like Friday night, and then I used to get done by police.
How did that manifest itself then? Where did that start? Was it just mucking around in parks and then it got bigger and bigger and turned to crime?
Well, we all used to mess about on the street. They got up to like 50, 60 people, and then everyone else were doing stuff, and then I don't know, I think there were too many people out at the time, too many people doing the same thing, too many people fighting drunk, and then it just gets out, and then too many people attacking people, and you just get into it, and it's like, it starts to be your life. That's how you see life, as like you want to fight, you want to attack people, you want to get into trouble.
Is this to prove you're a man? Is this to prove you're fit?
Not really, no. It was just like, I don't know, it was fun at the time, because when you're younger you don't think, and if everyone's doing it you think it's okay to do things like that, but it's not when you come into the real world.
How old were you when you first beat somebody up?
I'd have been about 12 or something, 13.
How strong could you be at 13 to beat somebody up?
I don't know, I used to fight people my own age mainly, and then it just started people jumping into my fights, and then it just got out of hand.
Were you always strong and fit?
I used to play rugby. I only played for about 3 years, but but until I started smoking, then fitness started going down. But fighting's different, really, innit? Like,
how does it feel to punch somebody in the face?
I feel sympathy now, but only now. If I'm gonna really fight, I'll only fight if I have to now. If someone comes and attacks me, then I'll fight, but I'm not just gonna go out and punch someone in the face for nothing now.
I can't get over the lack of conscience when you do that, and especially when you're in a gang and someone is defenceless, in a sense there's 50 of you and 2 of them. Do you not even care about the human being side of it?
No, I didn't used to know.
When was your awakening moment when you thought, this is just not the right path in life?
Well, August last year, I got, the day before I got sent to prison, I went to see my boss, and he said, I went to him, could you be able to give me a job? And he said, I don't know, you'll have to see when you get out. And then I started going on, and he said, yeah, well, I'll probably give you a job when you get out. So I got sent to prison. I started changing my life around in there. Thought, right, I need a job now, I need to get some money, I need to sort my head out. And then I started changing my life around, and as I started doing it inside, I started realising, and that I didn't have to fight, I didn't have to attack people, I didn't have to be a nuisance to neighbourhood and that.
What did you go to prison for?
Grievous bodily harm.
What does that mean?
Well, it's wounding. Jumped someone, and he got some serious injuries off it. He got 4 cracked ribs, a punctured lung, and a fractured skull. I think I was the only one who got done for it. And there were about
You were in a
40
gang at the
people.
time, were you?
Yeah. No, I don't know. He just come out and he just grabbed someone, and then everyone just retaliated. And
There's a question I want to ask you about this kind of culture, and I've spoken to some younger cousins of mine about this. You know, when you leave the house and you're in that frame of mind, are you going out looking for trouble?
If you're in that frame of mind, sometimes if you see someone and look at you funny, and then you just want it, you want to fight them, and if they don't fight you, you just hit them, and just keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them until someone stops you. But
Could you have killed?
yeah, I reckon I could.
We spoke to a mother earlier on this week on the programme. Her name was Lorraine, and her son was so badly beaten and stabbed, he died in front of her in his best friend's arms. And when you speak to her and you see the reality of what that means, killing someone, could you not appreciate that you were destroying not only a person's life who would be killed, but their family and the impact on the community?
I understood that when I went to prison for this. It was my second time. The first time I was young, I didn't care.
What's prison like?
To tell you truthfully, it's not as hard as it should be. It's not as hard. It should be harder, but with the right frame of mind, and you can change yourself. You can do what you want to do. You just know you don't want to be on streets all your life. You don't want to be fighting all your life. You want to have a good job, a good girlfriend, a good car. You want to have your life, really, don't you? You don't want to be in prison all the time, in and out. You want to be outside. You want to be free in it.
Were you accepted in prison?
Me, yeah, I was okay. I didn't have one fight in prison in the second time. The first time I used to fight all the time. Second time I didn't have one fight. I was okay with everyone.
I'd be curious to talk to your grandma and granddad. They must have just been completely ashamed of you through all of this, because they just wanted the best. Have you made it up to them?
Kind of, but I think I've got a lot of making up to do, to be serious with it, you know.
And you're still living with them?
Yeah.
When you used to leave the house of an evening, do you think they sat there worrying that you wouldn't come home?
My grandma even used to come out looking for me to make sure I get back in, you know, not doing nothing, and make sure I'm safe and everything.
These friends of yours, alleged friends, are they really friends, or are they just in it for a laugh?
They're really friends. They used to look out for me all the time, but now a lot of friends have grown up now, but there's still the odd few that are still out getting drunk on streets, fighting. But I move myself away from them friends, and I just go around with the ones what don't.
You terrify me in a way, because I've never been part of this lifestyle. I don't know anything about it, because I was always the outcast in a way. I was on the radio at 15 and entertaining and doing the clubs and working, so I've never been part of this culture. But I do worry that I'm the guy walking home from the club one night and your lot see me with my flaming ginger hair and decide to punch me in the face. Do I have to come looking for it, or do you just pick anybody?
We used to just pick anybody. Anyone who walked past. Someone would start. If one of your mates start, you could just be sat there talking to a girl, drinking, having a laugh. Next thing you know, your mate's fighting, then you just start fighting, or everyone starts fighting.
Have you seen anybody about the fact that your mum was 15 when she had you and you didn't have a dad and you don't know your dad? Have you had any help dealing with that? Because I think that's a big thing in your life.
I don't need help with that. Seriously, it does not bother me at all. My mum's very supportive with me anyway, so I know she is. I call my grandma mum.
Right.
Because I've lived with her so long. They like me mum and my dad. To be honest, I don't really care about my dad. I never known him, so it don't bother me. I've been brought up not to care about my dad.
Did you ever get into drugs, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
What did you do?
Smoke a lot of weed.
Does that affect your behaviour?
Yeah, it did. It used to send me, like, I think that used to be a big part in my anger as well, weed, because it does things to your brain, you know, it kills your brain cells, and you get very stressed out all the time, and you just react, you know, violently.
How did you get the money to pay for it?
No, I spend pocket money. My grandma and granddad were supportive. They used to give me a lot of money all the time, yeah.
Do you think you're average? Do you think you're the average teenager in 2010?
Yeah, well, what it is, I don't know. I think I'm better now, because in the space of 1 month, I went from prison to a totally different lifestyle. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know how I've done it, and now I think totally different. If I don't ever, that thought never comes into my head ever, if I get stressed out, you know, I don't go out looking for fights. I just deal with it. I know how to deal with it now. I don't have to look for fights. I don't have to behave in the violent way. I don't have to be the violent person anymore like I used to be.
Very finally on the past, and then we're going to get to the present, which is really amazing.
Yeah.
Do you feel sorry for those people you beat up? How many people do you think have been negatively affected by your temper?
A lot. I've lost count.
10?
More.
20?
More.
50?
Maybe more.
100?
A bit less, probably. About 80.
How many of those were seriously injured?
Say about 10, 12.
Taken to hospital?
Oh, I don't know about hospital, but I'd say about 10, 12, yeah. Through school as well.
Do you feel compelled at this point to say sorry, or is it in the past?
Yeah, if they come up to me and, you know, and I saw them thinking, like, if they were, you know, like, looking like they were going to run or something, I just tell them, you know, I'm not like that anymore, it's okay, you don't have to worry.
It's hard to trust you, though, isn't it, when you've been
Yeah.
beat up by you?
Well, it is, I used to be a nuisance around the state as well, and people, I know a few people didn't used to like, you know, the image of me, and like I've seen them now because I work on the estate, and I've seen them now, and I've seen you know, like a few people walking down, and I know they don't really like, they think, oh, Adam Hayes, you know, they're walking down to sing, and I just said to them hello, you know, and they've just like, you know, like been shocked, you know, like I've actually said hello, and then they've walked past, and then every time I see them now, I'm always saying hello and talking to them and that.
See, what's strange about you, and obviously I didn't know you when you were younger, this is the first time we've met today, but you just look like a nice lad. You just look like every man. You just look like a kid that's going about your business. I have no reason to fear you whatsoever. Yet when I hear what you did in your past, it's almost incredible that you're that person. Do you view yourself differently now? Do you think you are literally a different person?
Yeah, I'm a totally different person, totally different lifestyle and everything.
And then let's look to today, because whilst you were in your bad patch, you decided to go into a shop. The owner's called Rizza. We're going to talk to him in a moment from now. And you caused trouble, you caused mess, and you made this man's life a misery. And you're now working for him.
Yep.
Tell us that story and how that happened.
Well, I used to go around, be loud, mess about, you know, make everything hard for him. I used to love it, to be honest. I used to enjoy doing stuff like that. And then one day I went round and he said, can I eat inside? Is it okay if I eat in? And he went, no. I went, why? He went, 'cause you make a mess. And I went, I won't make a mess. And he went, if you make a mess, you're bad, yeah? I started eating a burger and it had bolognese in it. And I give some to this girl called Francine. She threw the burger, threw some bolognese at me. It went down my top and it was proper hot. And it burnt me, so I picked up the burger, threw it at her, and she ducked and it hit the wall. And it went all over, so we left the shop. Later inspection on the shop, he saw all the bolognese all over. So night after, I was really drunk, and I went round to the shop, and he said, you can't come in, you're bad. So I started carrying on saying, you to both owners, get outside now, I'm going to fight both of you. And carrying on and stuff, headbutting, you know, shutters and stuff, and punching shutters. And then someone dragged me away. The next day I was sober, I realised what I'd done, I went round and apologised to him, you know, sober. And that was the first time I've ever said sorry. Went round and apologised, and he let me back in shop. And then
do you know what's scary about you is you tell these stories and they sound so rational coming from you sat here, but what worries me is that spark in you, that moment where you go into that other place.
Yeah.
How can I be sure as you sit here now I don't say something that could trigger you? Has that totally gone now?
It's totally gone. Nothing. Well, I can have a laugh with people now. I have a joke at work. We have a real good time. Rez has helped, been a big part in it as well, you know, helped me out and that.
And he's given you a job?
Yeah, he gave me the job. He said, I don't really think, to be honest, at first I didn't really think he wanted to give me the job, but before I went to prison, he said he'd give me it. I come out, I did some qualifications in prison, I got my food hygiene certificate, and I went and I told him about it, and he said, well, I'll give you a trial.
What a hero that man is. We're going to talk to Reza in a moment from now. Adam Hayes was our special guest this morning, telling his story from a life, and it's one of the most compelling stories I've ever heard. What an inspiration to go from where you were at to where you are now. Promise me one thing, you'll never go back to that place again.
Never.
Because you're a nice lad, there's no need.
No, there isn't.
I don't know what you were trying to prove, I don't know what chip there was on your shoulder, but I'm just so glad it's gone. let's hope this is the beginning of your life and forget about the last 17 years and start from here, because you seem to be in an amazing place, and what a tremendous story. We're going to talk to Reza next, and Samantha McCabe, the social worker for Adam Hayes, who joined us this morning. Thank you for coming on the programme.
Thanks so much.